Hello and welcome to another history of Overwatch. We've done it. We've done it. We've made it to the end of season 1, the inaugural season. We're jumping through to the grand finals. If you missed the inaugural season playoffs, it was honestly very underwhelming. There wasn't a lot that really happened throughout any of the matches. NYXL lost to Philadelphia Fusion, which led to the whole sandbagging debate. Who did Philly beat before NYXL, right? Because Gladiators lost to London Spitfire. Boston, that's right. So Philly beats Boston, and Boston were, I'm pretty sure, the worst in the playoffs. Primarily because, and we will talk about this more, the playoff meta was very strange. So in the playoffs, just before the playoff, I'm going to get riled up about this, I know I am. Just before the playoffs, Overwatch decided now was the time to completely change Hanzo. So before this, Hanzo was the good old scatter arrow, which was very RNG. It was not very much liked by the whole Overwatch community. So they decided to rework Hanzo, which is great, right? Not before we go straight into the playoffs. The change to the Hanzo was the storm arrow change and, the jump change and all that kind of stuff. And it was incredibly broken when it first came out because I'm pretty sure the storm arrows did a stupid amount of damage. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Storm, I don't know if it got nerfed at later times, but Hanzo just became a must pick for the game. And the meta that went on to evolve throughout the playoff teams, because remember, there was only 6 playoff teams in the playoffs. That was Philly Boston, Gladiators London Spitfire, the Los Angeles Valiant, and the New York Excelsior. So those are the 6 teams. And what we came to realize is 75. That's true. It was 75 damage, which then meant you could one-shot headshot a Tracer. And that's essentially killed dive, right? There was a little bit of dive still being played from time to time with the Tracer and that kind of stuff. It killed it. All of a sudden, you have to play Hanzo. That was bad for a couple of teams. It was bad for us, the Los Angeles Valiant, because Brady was solid at Hanzo, but he wasn't the best. And that wasn't really where we found our success as a team, Where we found it was generally on great tank play and Genji Pharah. So it wasn't great for the Valiant. The Valiant went on to lose to the London Spitfire. And the London Spitfire is a very interesting team in the playoffs, and we'll get to them as time goes on. But what happened was the meta became triple tank, double DPS, solo support, Mercy. So this massive sweeping changes. Every flex support was then expected to play the Roadhog. The DPS played Hanzo Widow, and then we had this triple tank setup. And it really changed. It sort of changed up the whole game. And this is another reason, another team that really struggled with this meta was the New York Excelsior. Because New York Excelsior thus far had really thrived off of, them playing this Winston Zen style with Sabiolbe on that Tracer. All of a sudden, Sabiolbe had to play the Widow, and, that wasn't his best hero. Even though he was pretty solid at it, they just ended up falling short. So let me go through the playoffs for you right here, actually. Let's bring up inaugural season Overwatch season. Let's go over to the Wikipedia because we got to look at the playoffs. So we can just talk about this because we did jump through a lot of what happened. Because it just, as I said, they weren't very interesting games, but we're going to talk about them as they happened. So Philadelphia Fusion played up against the Boston Uprising, and the Los Angeles Gladiators played against the London Spitfire. The thing to see here is that it didn't, remind me if I'm correct about this, is each series is a best of 5, it's a best of 3 matches, and each match is a best of 5 maps. So when you look at this, 2-1 and 2-1, this was best of 5 series that were played over multiple days, okay? So the Boston Uprising played against the Philadelphia Fusion, and they actually did okay. Boston Uprising almost beat the Philadelphia Fusion, and I think this might have been before the meta really came together, before the triple tank. I think they were still playing a bit of dive because this was the start of the playoffs. While ourselves and all that kind of stuff started taking over. Philadelphia Fusion just beat Boston, and they move on to the next match. the Los Angeles Gladiators versus the London Spitfire. This is a really interesting series to talk about because there was a lot that happened during this time. So the Los Angeles Gladiators had Fisher on their roster. And what happened was, in the playoffs, I don't think Fisher played a single playoff match. Am I correct about that? I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. But Fisher, who was supposed to be the overall carry for the Los Angeles Gladiators, tilted so hard that he refused to play in the playoffs. I remember being in the scrim that he just lost the plot. Because, you know, as I said, we're 6 teams. Los Angeles Gladiators were on the other side of the bracket. We played a lot. We scrimmed a lot against the Los Angeles Gladiators. And it was just bad. At some point, like, I remember scrimming and Fisher, like, at some point they switched out Fisher in a scrim for iRemix. And that was like the beginning of knowing that everything had fallen to pieces. They started permanently playing iRemix, and at that point, for the previous Los Angeles Gladiators, that's when everyone was like, they're doomed. They're gonna lose. But fucking hold my beer, because hot diggity damn, the London Spitfire tilted more than Fisher. The entire London Spitfire team in the quarterfinals tilted off the face of the earth in a scrim. This is not only said by us, the Los Angeles Valiant, because we scrimmed them, and they, like, we had a moment. And this is how tilted they were. We had a scrim. London Spitfire going up into the Los Angeles Gladiator, their first match. We scrimmed against the London Spitfire. We spawn camped them. Like, this is not like we didn't get a thing. No, we legitimately spawn camped them so badly that at one point on Eichenwald, soon at the beginning of the round, on our attack, the beginning of the round, Widow grapple shot, one shot, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Bedosen or Birdring. They literally alt F4'd out of the lobby. They eventually came back, but we initially got the kill at the very first few seconds on Widow, and they literally left the lobby. So, like, London Spitfire just were boomed. And so at this point, we're like, holy shit, Los Angeles Gladiators are going to beat the London Spitfire. They're going to win with iRemix in. And it's important to talk about this as well, the Great Bamboozle. So this actually happened. This was the first series, I'm pretty sure. The first best of 5 that was played when the Gladiators were just dumpstering the London Spitfire. And this is the Great Bamboozle. And if you've never heard of this is a really smart play created by the Los Angeles Gladiators. We're just going to watch it and then we'll talk about it.
You know what? If they
So to a lot of people, it's the best play to ever be called.
Hotel. Yeah, the left side door. Yeah, what do you know? Left side door, hotel, we go there, okay?
Oh yeah.
No say?
Junkrat.
Don't cry. Remember, 1 inch from the wall. Save your bubble.
Junkrat widow.
We're going to that around. We're going to second point. Okay, go hotel. Careful trap. Trap. Remember, back. Go. Keep going. Careful, let me chill.
Sound really low? Sorry, I can't. Let me turn it up.
Careful.
It's just a really low, quiet video.
Keep going. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call the 3-2-1. They have solo heal.
So what you've noticed so far, right? They're communicating right here. The Great Bamboozle was a play where they rotated their entire team towards the spawn of the London Spitfire, right? But the thing that they didn't do is they didn't count the heads. Shawfall never actually went with the entire Los Angeles Gladiators team, stayed in spawn as Brig so that they wouldn't think that he was Widow. At this moment, what this is going to do is this force the entire London Spitfire to switch off of the high ground and rotate away, right? Like, this is like not that bad for London Spitfire.
3, 2, 1, now.
So Shawfall switches to Widow, as you can see right here. And he gets the freest shots you'll ever see in your life. Boom. Hits the Widow. Gets the Mercy really low. Gets the Mercy. And that's the Great Bamboozle. And that was one of the coolest plays. And that still to this day is one of the coolest, like, manufactured, like, set play that's ever happened in Overwatch, because it worked so well. And it was, as I said, it was casted, it was spectated incredibly well. And yeah, the Gladiators end up releasing this video. And this was like, as he said, like, this is the beginning of their winning of the first series. So we're like, the Gladiators are going to beat the London Spitfire. We started preparing for the Gladiators. We're watching everything the Gladiators do, because I'm pretty sure we play the Gladiators after this, the winner of London versus Gladiators. And this is like an interesting idea in like sports psychology of the London Spitfire, because the London Spitfire should have been a great team in this meta. But somewhere going into their second match against the Los Angeles Gladiators, something switched. And there's been rumors and like people have said that what happened is the London Spitfire, they accepted. No, they didn't get angry. From what I heard, they didn't get angry. They accepted they were going to lose. They were like, we're fucked. It's over. Let's just go out, play our game, and just have fun. And that apparently that's what they did. And apparently the rest is history. They came out and it was just a different beast. I can't remember exactly what was played in these matches, but London Spitfire began to pick up steam. They started like absolutely like just rolling. Everyone started hitting their thing. Playoff gesture, playoff profit, birdering just absolutely picking it up. And they just started taking over the series, and they go on to actually beat the Los Angeles Gladiators. And from there, it really like became hard. We're going into our match versus the London Spitfire. And at this point, this is when the triple tank, double sniper, mercy meta really came in, because that's what these final four teams were really playing, if I remember correctly. And the London Spitfire, just put it on paper, right? Nuss, Bedosen, switching over to the Roadhog, was like one of their best characters. Their main support, Nuss, was able to play Mercy, who was just really good at Mercy during that time. And then you just had like them just swag. Wait, actually, did Gesture play Roadhog? I can't remember what they did. But Birdring and Prophet on Widow and Hanzo was just... No, it was Bedosen. You're right, yeah. But Birdring and Prophet on the Hanzo Widow just became unstoppable. And we were in the wake of that. Us as Los Angeles Valiant were just not very good in the playoffs. Just straight up. We scrimmed. We were going into this match and we were really worried. We had been scrimming a lot against the Philadelphia Fusion to prepare for this match. And we were playing the mirror comp, because I'm pretty sure it was either us or Philly that came up with the triple tank, double sniper, solo support Mercy. I think it was us that came up with it. Philly took it and they just got way better at it than us. They were like, Philly was really good. We even knew that if we beat London, we were going to struggle against Philly, because Philly were just dominating us in scrims. And we were really disheartened going into it, because it was just, and we just knew that this wasn't our meta. It wasn't great for us. We were really struggling to step up. You know, Soon Widow's great, but, you know, we're talking about like the best Widows in the game at this point. Brady's Hanzo just wasn't the same level as like, you know, Prophet or EQO. And yeah, we got rolled over 2-0. Wasn't close. I think we took a map, or we drew a couple of maps. I don't know if this highlights it, but it wasn't very close. We kind of got rolled here. And the same thing happened in New York Excelsior. As I said, Philadelphia Fusion were a very good team, and they were just better than New York Excelsior. New York Excelsior thrived off of Zen, Jonak on the Zen, and all of a sudden we're in a meta where Zen just isn't meta. So New York Excelsior fell over, and then we went into the playoffs. And honestly, the grand finals. And the grand finals was really anyone's game at this point. London Spitfire is rolling, but it was on like it felt like it was on a knife's edge. They could fall apart at any moment, while Philadelphia Fusion was very strong. They were very confident. They had smart players. Boombox's Hog was solid. And it could have gone to either person. We forced someone to map 5. Oh yeah, maybe we did. I can't remember, but it didn't feel good when we played against London. But yeah, we go into the grand finals, and the match that we're going to watch, I know this has been a long-winded intro, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the playoffs before we start watching the match, because the grand finals, if you remember watching them, weren't very interesting. The answer became quite clear pretty early on in the grand finals that Philly just wasn't close to London. Philly, like London just, especially on that grand final stage, Prophet and Birdring just hit a different level. Maybe the power of DJ Khaled like infused into them and they just became better. Or maybe the physical cringe of the DJ Khaled, the Philadelphia Fusion, just retreated into their shell. But it wasn't good. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the second day, because it was still the same format going into these grand finals. 2 best of 5s. There are 3 best of 5s. And it was the way it was going to be played, if I remember correctly, was there were 2 days. First day, there was one best of 5. The second day, there was going to be 2 best of 5s if it went to a best of 3. The London Spitfire in the first series crushed them. I think they won 3-1 in the first day, London Spitfire. But it kind of, you could feel the tidings in the air just like change as like Philly sort of felt like they were losing control of the series. And that's the match we're going to watch. We're going to watch the final one. I think the most important thing is to just like, this was really like peak Overwatch. Let me, inaugural season grand finals. Because if you haven't seen the crowd, like just look at this crowd. This is the history of Overwatch. Look at this. Like, this was the crowd for the inaugural season of Overwatch League. This is what it was. It was fucking awesome. Like, except for the DJ Khaled performance, it was fucking awesome. You got the desk up here. The casters were over here. The crowd was enormous. I was like right here. We had like a player thing. And I've never like... At this point, this was like the biggest motivator for me of like, I'm playing on this fucking stage next year. Then Valiant went 0-7 and I retired. But during this moment, I was like, this is the sickest thing ever. I want to play on the grand final stage. It was like, it was absolutely awesome. The people, the stadium was electric. And this is what Overwatch should have been. And it could have been that. And it was just fucking awesome. And you just like, you got to really appreciate these times, and like how big the inaugural season was. Like, just look at it. I used to dance with DJ Khaled. Like, I did the dance with DJ Khaled. I was so jealous I wasn't there. If you missed it, it was awful. It's an awful thing to miss that because it was really worth it. The energy was insane. How much they wanted to be on that stage. Everyone wanted to be on that stage. All right, but let's get into it. Let's talk about the playoffs. Does this just not have audio?
Here at the start of Junker time.
Oh, there we go.
When time.
All right, there we go.
Whichever team scores the most points and escorts the payload
In the post.
Is the FBI? Did I just choose the world's worst VOD?
To heat up. This is a map that is characterized by very big open space.
This is the Overwatch League one, right? No, what am I watching? Okay, where's the VOD? Overwatch. Yo, raid. Yo, bro, you whack. Thank you very much for the raid. What is up, party people? We're currently going back and watching the inaugural season grand finals. God, I can't believe that. Let me look at it. I'll find the Twitch VOD. Take me 2 seconds. Liz, can you help me while I look for it, just in case? Back to Mayhem was good. Oh wait, never mind. When was Mayhem the best? When was Florida Mayhem the best? Probably 2020? This season, stage 3. Stage 1 this year. I could have sworn I think it was 2021. I think it might have been 2021 May Melee. Didn't they win that? Try this. All right, there we go. Liz the GOAT. Help me out. All right, here we go. Way better. Thank you, Liz. Oh yeah, wait, listen to this intro. This was the countdown. They had so many cool assets in general.
New York. It's more than the largest city in America. It's larger than life itself. Icons have risen from these streets, and history has been captured here. Inside this modern-day arena, 2 teams of
Dude, the nostalgia.
stand on the brink of greatness.
Big Reg Caligula.
But before they can take those first steps towards history, they're gonna come face to face with what it means to be champions. See, it begins with the journey of thousands of miles. It's an odyssey of the spirit, one that requires tenacity, be a champion, it takes resolve, sacrifice, dedication, and complete commitment. It requires self-discovery, finding something within yourself that you never knew you had. It's a big, bad world out there. So no matter how good you think you are,
This is Michael K.
you're
Williams.
never gonna make it if you choose to go in alone. It takes a family. It takes a team. After a season filled with both triumphant highs and confounding lows, this will be London Spitfire's defining moment. A chance to rule the skies and finally...
I want this type of hype Overwatch 2 did. They just need to bring back this kind of...
So what is it going to take to capture history?
Yeah, production value seems way higher. Well, like, the most important thing, like, remember, like...
The entire world is about to...
They turned that video around in one day because, like, think about it, that had footage from the day before. So, like, they just did cooler shit. And, like, the reality is, like, obviously we weren't thinking, but, like, the budget was much higher. There was way more resources. And this is the product that Overwatch can be. And this is why a lot of people are very frustrated about the state of OWL now, right? Is we had this, and then they took it away, right? Like, it's just been deteriorating since then. Obviously, I think we're doing a much better job with the league in, you know, most recent year, but from where we came from, it just ain't close. Are we gonna watch the DJ Khaled performance? No.
$1 million in that beautiful trophy.
Just look at this.
Up for grabs today. We are back in the sold-out Barclays Center in the heart of New York City for the conclusion of the first ever Overwatch League Grand Finals. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Chris Bucket, and I'm joined at the desk by the beautiful Brits. You know the boys. We've
There
got
it
friends.
is.
We've got
All right,
side
let's jump
shows
into the
and
games,
fellas.
though.
We are here for another one.
Let's do team walkouts.
Now it's time. Hey, can we...
Introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Brennan Sideshow, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm bringing up the pain.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Hey, can we just try something real quick? Can you put your hands up for Overwatch real fast? How about that? There you go. Make some noise. Let's do this.
Subtle dig at DJ Khaled by your boy Golden Boy.
Your first team. The question remains, can they run it back? Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
Over to Brennan Sideshow, they're no longer working with Overwatch League and they're at Valorant.
In the support position, Neptuno.
Look how big that team is, yeah.
Also in the support position, welcome to the stage, Boomba. In the tank position.
Oh, that was nuts, yeah. And this is the thing people forget.
Also in the tank position, Dorado.
Yeah, wearing trackies. I think the trackies were a great choice. I think they, like, I feel like they're that perfect thing between, like, casual and, like, I think they look good. This was the fit, though, yeah. And then here comes the boy.
And last but certainly not least,
Squad.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Philadelphia Fusion, starting 6.
Chris, so much swag, yeah. Wasn't Fragment the beat? Yeah, but he. So This is worth talking about because a lot of people think Fraggy is on the Fusion. Fraggy was on the Fusion, but he only played the first 3 stages. There's rumors that Fraggy and Carpe just like didn't get along, and you know Fraggy doesn't win that battle. So Sato actually got signed to the Fusion quite early on, but Sato got suspended for 3 stages due to having a history of boosting accounts. So the league punished him for 3 stages, but he came in at stage 4 and like really took Philly to the next level.
To run it back and take us to a second best of 5. This next team.
Golden Boy was great at these intros, though. I want to have Golden Boy back. When we go back to LAN events, Golden Boy better come back. I wasn't gonna riot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, the London Spitfire! In the support position, Nuts! Also in the support position, Budosa!
Dante already said his first season 5 hour game is supposed to be on stage. Yeah, but I don't believe it's on stage like... I believe, isn't that like an internal stage, right? I don't really know how that's working.
In the tank position,
Just in person, yeah, we haven't heard anything. Dude, Gesture doesn't give a fuck, dude.
In the damage dealing position, and in the tank position, Fury.
Can you clarify what the format was for this year? I talked about it a little bit earlier. But the way it was is that it was like a best of 5 series, but you needed to win 3 best of 5 series, or the first of 2 best of 5 series. So that happened throughout the entire playoffs. So the way it worked for the grand finals was the day before. So it was a Saturday and a Sunday event. There was a match yesterday, from looking at this time, where London Spitfire won, I believe 3-1. And then today, the way it worked, that if London Spitfire won the first series, they were the champions. They won 2 best of 5 series. But if London Spitfire had lost this series, I think they played another series the same day. So it was a way because it was like, well, we don't want to do a best of 9, but we don't want to do a best of 7 because it can end in 4 maps. But they wanted to keep up the hype because all these people came. So it's kind of a problem of just only having one matchup for the tournament. I think in a perfect world, what you have is you have best of 7 series between the 4 best teams, and they both play on stage. It was a weird format. Overwatch had a lot of teething periods in the first season. As much as the production value was sick, there was a lot of things that really need to get fleshed out. 40 games in a regular season. Too many games. They needed more teams. They need to not do a patch going right into the playoffs. But yeah.
Put your hands together for the London Spitfire, starting 6.
I talked about Fisher not playing in the playoffs earlier. All right, let's jump into the game.
Gentlemen, it all comes down to this. $1 million, the trophy, the prestige of being the first ever Overwatch League champion. Are you guys ready? Let's do that again. I think we can get louder, Brooklyn. I said,
I need Golden Boy to narrate my life. Yeah.
When we return, it's about
Yeah, that was pretty high.
London versus Philly. Let's make this happen.
I hope the world gives Overwatch to a chance. You and me both. You and me both. All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, we had Malik explain game modes because remember we're on ABC where people don't really know the game.
Player that we have in Overwatch. So if London can force them off the sniper composition.
All right, so for people, so this was primarily played on Junkertown. I can't remember if there was other comps, but this is the comps, right? These were the comps that were played during this time. We got the triple tank where you have the flex support playing the Roadhog, double sniper where you do 2 DPS played sniper, and then you solo support Mercy. Didn't Boombox play the Bastion? Maybe he does it at a different time. Pirate Ship was still a little bit.
But Boombox on that Bastion, he's going to try to camp out on the payload for a bit if he can get there.
A standard strategy here. You play Bastion, a hero that can transform.
You say this was on ABC? I'm pretty sure it was on ABC.
The payload, and they're going to start to blast through these defensive shields of the London Spitfire. London
It was on ESPN, but I'm pretty sure.
Called the pirate ship. You got the big cannon, you got the shields.
Disney? I can't remember. But it was on like a lot of mainstream media. Disney. Maybe it was on Disney. Why was Orisa Diva meta? So the reason this became... Oh, actually, you're right. Boombox is on the Bastion. So the reason this became meta is... What happened was people realized that Orisa Hog was really good, right? So the Orisa pull into Roadhog Hook was like considered one of the strongest things, especially in a sniper meta, because it's all about just like you can get that combo. What people realized was that the counter to the Orisa pull hook was a Diva, because you can eat the pull, so then you don't get pulled and then you don't get hooked, right? At some point, some people were trying Orisa Diva, some people were trying Orisa Hog, and then eventually, I can't remember exactly who came up with it. As I said, I thought it might have been us, but what if you just play all three? You play the Orisa, the Hog, the Diva. The Diva tries to deal with the pull hooks, while the Orisa Hog can do it. The Hog is also able to flank, but most importantly, remember, we're in a double sniper meta. You need characters that don't just die. The problem with Zen in this meta is that Zen just doesn't get angles. You either get pull hooked, or you get Hanzo headshot, or you get Widow headshot, or you stand behind the shield and do absolutely nothing. Or if you stand behind the shield, they break the shield and you die, right? So this is why it became very heavily meta. One shots were the most important thing, and then Mercy reses were the most important thing. I take it back. The most important thing is the Mercy not dying. The Mercy cannot die first. If the Mercy dies first or the Mercy gets sniped, it's like pretty much team fight over. But a lot of the onus, because the tanks are generally just fighting each other, but no one ever really dies themselves, the onus is really on the Hanzo and the Widow to get picks and enter playoff profit.
But here's where you got to stop it. Oh, and they brought Sato in. Another great setup for Badoshin to land that hook on Roadhog. Pogo D-Mac, D-Life as well. And it looks like London's going to push Fusion back to spawn.
I feel like if BAP was in this meta, 100% it would have been played over the Mercy.
Hook combo, they bring in Sato and get the elimination. That means because it's at close range, the Mercy can't come and revive the tank player from the Fusion. Now they have to try again. Boombox still going to stay on the Bastion.
I mean, that's brave. It's tough to get back.
Yeah, I'm surprised Boombox is staying on the Bastion. Because so like Pirate Ship was really popular in season 1. We've seen it a lot throughout the playoffs. Mainly because of this reason, right? This is, I think the best way to describe this to someone who wasn't around for this meta, it's very similar to Double Shield in a way. EQO getting the picks though. Badosin was also good at Tracer, yeah. There was a lot of Tracer played by a lot of teams in the playoffs for the flex support. Before everyone really started playing the triple tank, people thought like because like Hopper played a lot of Tracer. A lot of Philadelphia Fusion in season 1 was they did play a lot of Hopper Tracer to sort of like mix it up. Keith, thank you for the 5 months. Hopper's Tracer for an off tank was actually incredible.
The resist this guy gets away with. I feel like London did punish him a bit.
What happened to Monty and Doa? Doa was here last season, but Monty, I'm not actually sure what he's doing right now.
His positioning is great and he can get those risky reses.
Oh, Badosin down.
By Pogo's ultimate, we saw that one make a difference. Yesterday, making a difference again, scattering London. They nearly got Gesture down as well.
So the biggest ult cycles that generally happened here was Orisa Pool, Hanzo Dragon, and Diva Bombs. Because they're really the big ones that really won team fights. So Badosin goes to the Tracer here as well, right? Oh, there you go. Diva Bomb.
Coming in with a 2K on his own self-destruct. Leaving Pogo high and dry. He's not going to last much longer. And London going to stop the payload right there for a while.
Monty loves Alster. He's our biggest supporter. Hey, he's the one talking about it the most. Actually, not true. He's sort of moved on from our for the better. Yeah, and this was like, so as I said, so the Orisa was so important during this time. The D.Va needed to eat the pulls, but this, you just see it, like, time and time again. Pull Dragon, pull D.Va Bomb, that was really, like, how you were winning team
I
fights.
think the best Orisa I have ever seen in the game of Overwatch. His hulks are incredible. Looks like that's going to pop the Mercy outfit. They're gonna
Oh.
pop it. Moved around.
I think Poco might have eaten that Dragon as well.
Taken out by the Dragon.
Big Dragon by Philly.
And Fusion gonna push right down.
D.Va Bombs and Dragon Strikes plus hooks. Everyone else is pulling, pull hooking. Yeah. Well, and I, like, as I said, like, London just found their synergy. They just worked it out better than everyone else. At this point, Philly was also pretty good at the pull hooking and stuff like that, and pull D.Va Bombs, but London were just on a different level from time to time. Yeah, Orisa pull was bigger at this point. I think it was like 20% bigger, 30% bigger. What Mercy is this? This is, I think this is double res Mercy, but there's not instant res. Am I correct about that? Or maybe it's just solo res, but it has Valk. I think it's double res, but they're not instant. They're definitely not instant at this point. Solo res and not instant? Yeah, it might be solo res. I can't remember if they got rid of double res at that time. I wasn't sure if you still got... Oh, nice. And that's the thing you got to be careful of, like playing aggressive against these pull hooks. Was only stage 1? Okay, there you go. Man, I can't wait to watch my favorite team, Philadelphia Fusion, succeed in the playoffs. Yeah. I actually... I don't want to call someone out, but someone in my YouTube comments was like, hey, for the next history of Overwatch, you should totally watch Philly and their run through the playoffs. They played like really well and they were like really developing as a team. And I like, to me, that just felt like the biggest Philadelphia Fusion copium ever. Of like, please don't just watch the finals where we get rolled. Please just watch like that time in the playoffs where we were doing pretty well. Like, don't just skip to the I'm sorry. I skipped to the finals because as much as Philadelphia Fusion's run was good, and it does need to be respected, Philly was by far the second best team in the playoffs, and they were the best team in the world, but they weren't better than London. But sorry, Philly fan.
The attackers can push through these choke points, and now they have to go through these small little corridors to get back in it. There's many ways to clog those up. You can either throw a self-destructive, those halts.
You're on thin ice. Philadelphia Fusion fans, like, I don't know. time to let him know how we feel. Oh, wow. Nuss is lucky that dragon didn't go in that room. Oh, good D.Va Bomb. Ooh, the Prophet birdering 1-2 punch, baby. So yeah, there you go. The Valk, so the Valk was still really strong. And you had the solo res, and there's the cast of it.
Birdring has to escape with that grappling hook. EQO back on the high ground right now. Payload's still moving. They've got their Orisa shield on.
Oh, Jesha gets Carpe. Yeah, I think Mercy, I can't remember exactly why Mercy was so broken. I'm pretty sure she had more healing, right? She had like more individual healing and she got Valk pretty quick. She just, like, think about it. There are 3 tanks and 2 DPS and Mercy could solo heal it, right? Like, Mercy had a ton of healing back then. And like, as much as it doesn't feel like her kit is overpowered, she did a lot of healing. Maybe I can find the patch. Oh, well, it's like, it wouldn't tell me the changes or the numbers, but yeah. Oh, here we go. Philly switching to dive. Damage boosted dragon, yeah. Didn't Valk have 2 reses? I don't think at this point, no. This was a classic, this dragon. Divas were a lot worse. Okay. There you go. Is Prophet gonna switch? Where's he going? Oh god, they went goats. I forgot about this. So this was another reason that Dive died, right? So obviously Hanzo got really strong and that kind of stuff, but I forgot why Dive broke so much. This is original Brig. This is, if you bash a Tracer, the Tracer dies Brig. The bash did 50 damage. You could bash one swing whip shot and the Tracer would die. My camera died. That's just fucking great. But yeah, that was like one of the big things that like really made this like Winston compositions fall through. Because as much as like Dive was played through a lot, everyone wanted to play the Zen, Brig just put a hard stop on that. This is like 600 health shield Brig, shield health Brig. This is instant pack, which gave over armor. This is permanently sustaining armor on the rally. It was brutal. Oh my god, Birdring gets the Mercy. That fight's over.
Philadelphia, they gotta regroup, man. You lose that Mercy, you're not gonna finish this push. It's too rough. Too rough. EQO can't get away either. He's just gonna go back to spawn as well. London put themselves with less than a minute to defend here. Poco dies late. Got split off from the rest of his team. It's looking a bit rough for Philly.
It is. Neptuno dying first also means that he's still 25% away from his own.
All right, 1 second. I'm trying to fix this camera real quick. Let me get a temporary camera up. I'm just gonna. I think it's just too hot in my room.
Using that Infrasight, they know exactly where Carpe is in the back line. Right.
We'll go ugly camera for a little bit.
Birdring looking for the tracer. Oh, Sato got out of position again. The same issue that they
Ignore him. Look at Barry. Yeah, look at the gameplay.
comes back to haunt them again.
And that's it. Like, what do you do if you're like, against this Brig?
Spitfire on the verge of holding here, Philly. They got to scramble, but they just don't have the meat. They don't have the bodies to get back and hold the point right now. Poco's going to go for it. He's going to get desperate, but he's already out on the back.
Like, look, just look at this back and think about this, right? Look at Prophet pack this Mercy, okay? So Nuss is super deep, right? Prophet, look at how far he is in. He starts getting low. He's no longer in Valk. He's in danger, right? He's in danger if the monkey follows him. Look at Prophet's pack onto Nuss. Instantly, Nuss, even if Nuss was missing like 100 health, instantly now has 275 health with 75 of that being armor. How do you deal with that as a Tracer or a Winston? How do you ever stop this? And that's how broken Brig was. And that really broke. And that people found the best way to play against it was to just not play Dive, right? And that's why everyone went snipers. That's why everyone went all those things.
As soon as they take out Carpe, was it enough time for the rest of the team to get there? No. Oh, Boombot can't get there. And that's going to be where it stops for Philly on attack.
The wild part about this era was people weren't playing Brig yet. Yeah. People were starting to adopt it towards the end of, well, even in stage 4, people had already stopped playing a lot of the Dive and started playing the Orisa Hog double sniper. Like, people were already starting to play like snipers with a little bit of Tracer, but people were starting to play a little bit of triple support with Brig, like getting some reminiscence of Goats. Like, not everyone was definitely mass adopting Brig though. When did they realize you could play it in Brawl and run into people? I'm actually not sure when Goats was invented. I don't think Goats was invented by this point in the playoffs. But Goats was invented during... I'm pretty sure it was during the off-season of 2018 to 2019. I'm not sure 100% if it was being played just yet. By World Cup, it was definitely a thing in November. But yeah, at that point, Brig was only really a thing. It was an EU team. It was an EU team that played Goats. It definitely, like, maybe we were starting to get the rumblings of it now. But yeah, it would have been interesting if someone had just played Goats, right? In the playoffs.
I don't care what happens second round.
By the Goats contender team, yeah.
I mean, that
F9.
yeah, that's right. I mean, that play is why we've seen the London...
And why Excel swapped Goats in the final fight of their loss to Philly this playoffs. Really interesting. So it's interesting, like, right? Like, people played it a little bit, but not enough to really, like, play it everywhere.
Gesture and Prophet and Gesture to set up self-destructs and dragon strikes has been a major factor in their success.
Yeah, Gesture say, hey man, I'm gonna hit this guy with a halt.
Isn't the Great Bamboozle Goats? I don't think they played Zen with it. I think they were playing like Lucio, Moira, Brig. I think people didn't realize that you need the Zen in it, right? Hey boy, I love you.
One up in this match is get the payload just as far as Philly pushed it.
Yeah, and we have to talk again. We came into this match saying Carpe needs to step up. Only 3 final blows and 4 deaths on that entire attack round.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really bad, actually.
By the London Spitfire tanks. Let's see if he can get the big shots they need to defend.
How did London go from championship contender to what it is now? So London. All right. So here's the thing. London has Gesture. Okay. Winston extraordinaire. Reinhardt was kind of meh. You have Prophet and Birdring, people that love to shoot people. And then you have a lot of Mercy supports, they weren't very good at Lucio. Enter Goats. They won the championship, so they didn't add any new players. London Spitfire sucked at Goats. For the caliber of players that they had, they were so trash. Like, so bad. They switched Prophet and Birdring from Zarya to Brig from between maps. Everyone just looked like they didn't want to be there. None of them wanted to play Goats. They tried to play other shit than Goats. The confidence of this team just sort of like went to zero again. And this was a very chaotic team in the London Spitfire. Just because of like the egos that they had. Like the London Spitfire, even during the inaugural season, was a very up and down team. Like they played purely off of confidence, and that's showing the greatest in these playoffs. But yeah, they didn't. It never really worked for them in London Spitfire. So then after season 2, I think pretty much everyone got traded, and they ended up picking up the like contenders team that they picked up in season 3. They had a Guard and Krillin, yeah. Actually, I don't think it was Guard and Krillin, was it? I don't think Krillin was in there until 3rd season. Boy, are you just gonna keep jumping up, and I'm gonna put you down, and then you're gonna jump up, and I'm gonna put you down? Is that what we're gonna do for?
Right, you see Birdring playing the long flank right now. Everyone else from London peeking around the corner. Now they're going to go back to the payload, and it is a battle of who can kill these Orisa barriers first.
It's also a battle.
Okay.
And that's why. Ooh, the hook came through.
Oh.
Connect with Boombox. That was a very close one.
Let the cat stay. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. Ooh, what? What did they even hit?
Looking for those headshots.
There's just so much poking and patience that happens.
All right. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna let the cat stay, and then Boy's gonna roll on the keyboard, open up my and ruin the VOD, and then open up a different video. It's gonna happen. Hey, Boy.
Now they're gonna have to back up.
Oh, there's the hook. That's such a big pick. The Roadhog was such an important pick, but.
Around. Looking for those headshots.
There's just so much poking and patience that happens in these situations. The teams are coordinating their damage on the shield. Prophet.
Let the cat stay, they said. Just let the cat stay. Yeah, no, let the cat stay on the desk. It'll be totally fine to let the cat. Bruh. Bruh. Look at him, though. How do you stay mad at this face? You can't stay mad at this face. You're gonna have to move, though. I don't want to be the bearer. I don't want to be the person who's gonna have to tell you that you're gonna have to move at some point. Oh God, he just. All right, buddy, come on, come on. I don't want to hear it, chat. I don't want to. Bo is derailing the VOD review. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear it right now, okay? My camera working now? All right, let's hope it stays on. No, unsub. I don't want to hear it. Do you want to do a Bo VOD review, or you guys want to do a grand? No, don't answer that. I know what the answer is. Okay. We ready to start again? Let's go. There we go. Boombox goes down. So we're back around where we started. Step on me. Yo, Jaws, thank you for the raid. What is up, party people? Oh, ooh. So the gold was actually super important in this pull hook. So it was actually a really important thing that when the Orisa pulled, your opposition Orisa was in the front. Because when you pulled, if the Orisa was fortified, then the hook would never be able to hit anyone else. So the Orisa had to be in the front if the Diva didn't need it. Oh, there it is. The biggest problem is that the Orisa gold can only survive one pull hook because the pull hook is faster than the cooldown of the gold.
Tried to sneak around and get a flank
to
kill a support. Didn't end up happening. Prophet was there.
Boombox on hog, yeah. Triple tank. Solid support.
Taken off the clock by the Fusion, so still a respectable time. Remember how hard they held London deep in the match.
Nuss's Mercy dipping. Nuss's Mercy was really solid.
The thing is, Junkertown has always been an attacker-favored map. As a defender, you expect to lose point A. That's not the end of the world. You might even expect to lose point B in a lot of these matches, but point C is where...
Yeah, this was like the inaugural season. There was a lot of flexibility from your flex support players.
More time off the clock in the second stage of this map. London's still pushing through here.
It was one of the reasons we really liked playing the triple tank, because we had Karib, right? And Karib's hog was really good. And his tracer was really solid as well. So like we had a big advantage of Karib, but...
Trying to push forward with Bedoshin's whole hog. Trying to use that Roadhog ultimate.
Did Nuss and Mercy diff you too? The reality is that you don't really get Mercy diff. It's not really a Mercy diff. The only thing you need to do as Mercy is make sure you get the reses and make sure you don't die first, right? Like, it's kind of hard to fuck up playing Mercy in this. Obviously, if you fuck up, oh, nice Diva Bomb. That was such a good Diva Bomb by Poco. That is where the Poco bombs began.
He's right there with the self-destruct.
And that finishes it up with the team kill. What an excellent angle from Poco.
That bomb placement was actually so good.
In this case, though, Bedoshin playing the Roadhog in the corridor. That's going to shut it down. Poco was the clutch.
Was it Profit 5k in this game? It was, yeah, the dragon through the wall.
Check that one out again, man. Poco sends that mech out. You can see it traveling to the top of the screen. And what nowhere to go. Yeah, you can't escape that.
Oh, that was a good Diva Bomb pull.
Profit gets two already. No escape from that one. He puts out a third.
Profit diff.
They got Philly exactly where they wanted them. That may be point B right there.
Yeah, there's not going to be
Was Super Jump a thing? So I think Super Jump was a thing, but nobody really Super Jumped at this point. The main reason nobody ever really Super Jumped at this point is that was asking to die. Mercy wasn't played that much in the dive, so no one really did it, because if you Super Jumped here, you're just asking to die. But yeah, it could definitely have been used here, I'm pretty sure. But like, I never Super Jumped in Season 1. It really became a popular thing in like Season 3, right? When Mercy started getting played again, and now Super Jump was basically Widow bait at this point. Yeah, and like same thing with Hanzo and all that kind of stuff. There was like, it was a lot less, I still to this day, like Super Jump is still very valuable, but like even in today's games of Overwatch, if you Super Jump versus a Tracer, the best Tracers in the world will one-clip you as well, right? Like Super Jumping is super dangerous, even at the highest level. Obviously, it's super valuable sometimes, getting to high grounds, getting out of like thing. But there is also a lot of times in which Super Jumping is like press Super Jump to die. Wow, EQO is just knocking. Look how much healing Mercy does. Headshots, yeah, headshots through Fortify, yeah. Orisa was not headshot-less. When did Super Jump I think Super Jump might have been a thing since the beginning of time. Like, it's not like something they changed GA so you could Super Jump. And GA's always been the way GA is. So people have probably been always able to Super Jump.
Philadelphia Fusion. They've got a Valkyrie. There's critical support ult to heal up the team.
Here comes the Hulk. Got eaten that time by Poco. He's ready for it with Diva's defensive matrix with that box.
Around this time, the way a lot of most people like thought about Super Jump was like the extra jump and the extra speed that you would get off of the jump cancel. Dude, Profit is just getting a drag in like every fight. They made it really consistent. Oh, okay, so maybe they made it easier. I'm not 100% sure, honestly.
The tanks are out of commission, and that's going to be match one done. London Spitfire take a lead in the series.
And that was a dominant performance, Noah, from London. 53.
Who are these people? This guy seems like the most bored person ever. I remember this guy.
Eliminations for London, 27 for the Philadelphia Fusion. They look comfortable. Philly had some bright spots, big plays with self-destructs, but at the end, London perseveres and they grind away the Philadelphia Fusion.
He's a Philly fan.
Right, an early lead for London in this best of 5.
Was that Bogdanovich?
Come back and we'll see if Fusion
They look like celebs. That's what I thought as well. But they don't look interested to be there at all. And this was the class. This was one of big Overwatch 1's like inaugural season's biggest faults. Is like they kept trying to get celebrities to come to our shit when none of them give a shit about Overwatch. There are tons of people who care about video games. As celebrities as well. They might not be A-tier celebrities, but there are tons of people that give a shit about it. Invite those people that want to be at the games. Don't just invite people to be like, oh, look at this picture, because they all look incredibly bored to be there. None of them want to be there. And it's like the DJ Khaled shit. That dude didn't give a fuck. That dude didn't give a fuck about Overwatch. He was like, I have another concert tomorrow, but I decided to be here for you guys. Don't think he even knew what game we play. Zed and Luka Doncic actually like the game? Yeah, like. Remember when Josh Hutchinson came and they kicked people away from their seats so it'd be more on camera? Yeah, it was like they were trying to be traditional sports when you just don't try and be traditional sports. And that was one of the early Overwatch's biggest flaws. It was trying to be traditional sports, and it ain't traditional sports. Even Zed switched to Valorant, yeah, but like, fingers crossed. Get me on there. Oh yeah, with Hobium. When Overwatch 2 comes out, we will get back to this. When Overwatch 2 comes out, we'll be popular again, and people will like us. Come on. Here we go. Come on, Overwatch 2, 2029.
Both teams rejecting the Reinhardt for now as we get things started. Carpe looking for an early shot here. Philadelphia Fusion trying to...
All right, let's get back to the game. So Philly's actually going to try and play dive. Oh, we're going to see a Pharah mirror? I don't remember this.
EQO, of course, on that far. Profit playing it.
I guess everyone played Pharah on these Lijiangs.
EQO just looking, maybe bounce somebody off early on, get some shots.
Tree is going to be eligible by the time Overwatch 2 comes out. Okay, let's... Yeah, fucking, he's probably 21 by the time Overwatch 2 comes out.
You really need to be the first person to take it, right? You want to be the defender here.
Yeah, because otherwise you have to...
This is the game where Carpe kills everyone on the point? Nah, I don't think that was a playoff game.
His way out. London Spitfire muscle their way onto the point. Sato doesn't want to let them have it for free.
I mean, Philly just can't let them have it, but they do. The control percent starts to build for London.
Now it's such a bad fight, like losing the point. Oh, Neptune! No. Okay, losing the point is like so bad.
Need some healing here. Meanwhile, EQO throwing the rockets in from outside. But for now, you're on the outside.
Are we sure saying map some comps? Yeah, but like, season 1, we played so much Pharah on Koth. Pharah was like the thing to do on Koth. Like literally everyone did it. Because there weren't really great counters. Maybe there was, and we just didn't. Well, like Mercy was just really strong, so like Pharah was like good to pair with it, I think. I thought Sideshow and Bren were commentating that game. No, Bren and Sideshow didn't commentate until season 2 anyway. Season 3? Season 3. Built up by London Spitfire, but Philadelphia wants to see if they can claim it. Profit drops a barrage. Goodbye. How would you optimize Widow well on this map? All right, so here's what I would do. Okay, I would get my lawyers to write up this contract for like a lot of money, and I would give it to Carpe. I would get Carpe to sign it, and then I would instantly get Widow value on this map. At least that's what I'm thinking of the way I would get it done.
Philadelphia Fusion, Sato engaged just a little bit too early. The London Spitfire had the Valkyrie up on Nusk, which kept Badoshan alive.
What?
Jester with the Primal Rage saw an opportunity to zone out Carpe, to zone out Boombox, and that's when the London Spitfire struck on the point to win the fight. Carpe now on the Tracer.
Oh god, Sato trolling.
No, again, split off from his team. London has been
Profit
so
diff.
good at identifying those situations and capitalizing, and that's just another one, right?
That is another one,
No
Noah.
pun intended.
And now the 80%
Another one.
taken by the London Spitfire. We're in one fight territory right now. Philadelphia Fusion needs to win this. Carpe's threatening the back cap right now.
He's going to try right now, building up a little bit of control percent, but Profit right there, man. 90% cross for London Spitfire. They just got to hold on for a little bit more to take a little...
Don't get booped, don't get booped, don't get booped, don't get booped. Oh my god, that Zenso almost got booped.
Maybe someone was knocked off for a second, but Boombox barely stayed
Oh!
on. Now EQO. Low out.
C9! This is before we call it a C9. Yikes.
A free point here on Lijiang Tower.
And they were zoning the Philadelphia Fusion off. They had them separated all around the point. London
C9 and out.
1-0 now on control. If they take one more point, they'll be up on match.
C9 was pre-out, yeah. Well, so C9 wasn't popularized at this point. It was a thing behind closed doors, but it wasn't like, so that's what I'm saying, Liz. It wasn't like Twitch chat would not have been spamming C9 that much. Like, and casters didn't say C9 on broadcast. But C9 came well before in Apex Season 2 in like 2017 when Cloud9 actually had a roster. Fun fact, people who were on that roster was Shore4, Mendo. Who was on that team? Shore4, Mendo. Rolf, I think, was on that team. Kai? No, this is well after Kai.
What can you do, man? I mean, if you're
Gods, yeah, Gods Adam. Something like that? Yeah, they did it. They had two brutal C9s. Are you gonna start being Bo as well? Oh yeah.
They gotta win this. They don't want
Cats!
London get one map away from winning the entire Overwatch League.
Don't
They gotta win this point
you
right
dare.
now. They've got Gardens. They gotta put that Farah to work.
And this is the best point for Farah and Widowmaker. Again, long sight.
All right, we're going. So London's not even gonna take that door. And here was the value of Prophet. Prophet just goes Tracer and just fucking bodies people. Oh wow. Oh my god. And this is begun, like, this is like sad trumpet noises for Philadelphia Fusion. This map was really like, everyone's like, then they're literally like, they're not gonna do it, are they? This is like the Philly fans are just starting to cry. Stop, they're already dead. What do people call it before C9? Fucking up. That's what they called it.
On the Zenyatta is finished by the Venom Mine.
No kidding. That's a rough one. Birdring already has that Widowmaker ultimate. He can see through walls. What can you do if you're Philly?
Oh my god, Birdering's just killing everyone.
Separated from his team.
And here's the thing, like, this goes back to like why people are like, man, why in the DPS list is Birdring so high? People forget how much fucking Birdring did in like season 1. He was like, even like season 3 and season 4, he was good. Like, he was definitely solid. He was good. He probably wasn't one of the greatest in the league, but in season 1, Birdring pounded. This is why Sato got a reputation as a feeder. He never really came back from this until like a couple of seasons, right? He like, yeah, but he fed these finals.
And if they win this point, they win the map. Sato jumping in again. They're going in hard on this one, trying to just catch London unawares, but I think they're ready. Prophet holding the point right now with this Tracer. Not letting anybody.
Just waiting out the back.
They just look hesitant right now.
Oh, they found Carpe again.
Yeah, they just... Philly's just playing so passive. Anyone who tries to step out just dies.
They just try to muscle their way in here. Birdring lining up a shot, trying to deal with the Tracer, taking a lot of hits, so he's got some support from his team. He's got the healing in there. And now Neptuno with the Mercy ultimate on the point.
Oh, wow. Jester just forced trance on his own while Neptuno was valking.
Let him have that space for now.
And Jester's in their spawn, punching Carpe around, trying to make sure he never gets it.
What?
The Tracer dueling with EQO, uses the recall to get back to the point.
That's right.
Oh, Neptuno's in trouble.
Ready to go. Oh, Blue Box separated. He's on his own. Here we go.
Oh, Carpe. What was that shot?
Carpe gets two. He takes out Nuss as well.
Look at how far away Carpe was.
5% for London.
Forgot about EQO. EQO was also an incredibly flexible player. But back in these times, someone who was able to play all the flex DPSs while also playing like Tracer and a bit of hit scan.
Carpe finally got the angles, Noah. He has the Infrasight so he can see through
Woo.
those walls. Those are some beautiful shots to take out Nuss from right around the corner. Overextension by the London Spitfire, punished by Carpe.
That's what you got to do, man. That's what his team needs him to do. He needs to carry.
Oh, big stick. Oh my god. Boombox almost died to that as well.
The opposite of carrying, man. But Gesture is down. Sato got one kill. So a tank out of the way.
If Nuss gets back. Oh. Oh.
Oh, no way. 2 headshots. 2 kills. Poco.
Wow, I'm surprised Nuss went for that before he had back.
Gesture comes up anyway. And London in a great position to retake. They nearly got it right now. Poco drops the self-destruct, but he's not going to get back in the mech. There's a retake. London
Wait, who are these casters? This is Monty and Doa.
firing. Philadelphia
Old
has
school.
to find some way to hold this one.
by the stick.
Kuno caught by the pulse bomb for Profit. And now overtime going away. Can they hold it? They
Oh.
Philadelphia's still in it. EQO down though. Sato.
Oh, yeah.
Strong. And now with Poco there on the mech, they need so much more. Carpe blasted on the side of the fight. And it's going to be Poco running, just trying to delay as long as he possibly can. But
Oh, shit.
they take Legion Tower. They are one back win away from winning the Overwatch League.
They look so dominant today.
No kidding, man.
I remember overcasting Profit play. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, they did the first day of matches. So, as we said, the grand finals were split into multiple series. So this is the second day of matches.
These fights, they held him to 3 eliminations, 2 final blows.
All right, we don't need to see the desk. Sorry, desk.
Philly coming into the
All right, Kings Row.
dangerous moment already.
Under defense, Junkrat. And
So back to the triple tank.
on the defense with Bedosian playing the Roadhog.
Here we go. Philadelphia Fusion on the attack. And what
Did we ever get a grand finals that was full sweep? Yeah, like San Francisco Shock dominated versus thing. I think the closest finals we've had was season 3, right?
on board with EQO.
Shanghai Dragons versus the San Francisco Shock.
Picks. Sonic Arrow.
And season 2 was the worst finals.
Quite get popped on the mech, but that was a dangerous moment already for Philly.
Yeah, Sato was the one who was hooked.
Oh no, Seoul.
Comes in with the defensive matrix to save him, but that's
I forgot that Shanghai didn't make it to the finals. I always forget that Seoul made it to the finals and not Shanghai. It really should have been Shanghai versus Seoul, versus Shock. Because Shanghai should have. Yeah, that's right. Fuck, I always forget that.
It's a 5v6 in Philadelphia.
That sucks.
Has to get out of there.
Gesture Roadhog, yeah. Seoul went on a fucking tear in season 3. I forgot that, yeah.
For London.
Season 4 was a 4-0? Yeah, season 4 was not close.
set up the angles for their 2 sniper heroes, EQO on the Hanzo. And Carpe
Atlanta had a crazy run, but I think we all knew Atlanta was never going to beat Shanghai. If, like, the only way Atlanta was ever going to win that series is if for some reason Brawl was just, that Shanghai just didn't know how to beat Brawl, but they did, and it wasn't close.
The Reds comes in on EQO, but again, they are without their Diva suit. It's going to be tough to keep pushing this one, but Philly's going to try. Notion hooked in. Now
I think the playoffs for season 4 was actually really good. There were some crazy matches in season 4, but the playoffs, the grand finals weren't.
Gotta get back behind the shield, but Philadelphia Fusion
There were 2 best of 5, so you had to win both days. So I'll explain it again. So the way it was is that there were 3 best of 5 series. 1 on the first day, 2 on the second day. So if Philly had won this series, so we're on second day. If Philly had won the first series, we would have played the second series on the same day, if I remember correctly.
was bounced up by Profit there, which prevented him from getting the elimination. However, they have slowly taken that ground.
They're moving in. Progress.
But it's like, bro, no, Dragons are going to crush him. Yeah, like, literally, we showed up to the grand finals and we're like, Atlanta's probably just going to get rolled. And they did. And you can't even, like, it's not even like a shit talk towards Atlanta. Like, Shanghai was on a different level. I think who do you think would have been the best team to play against Shanghai in the grand finals? Who would have had the best chance of beating Shanghai? Dallas? It would have to be Dallas, right? But Dallas didn't play very well. Because Dallas have played against it, maybe Gladiators. It would have been interesting, but I don't think Gladiators would have beaten Shanghai either. It would have been Dallas or Glads. But even then, I don't think either of them would have been able to beat Shanghai.
What they do is they whittle the London Spitfire away one by one.
Yeah, like, I would have said Chengdu, but Chengdu played like booty in the playoffs. Like, I don't know why they went into the playoffs and were like, you know what we should do? Not play any of the stuff we had success for in Season 4. Yeah, that sounds good to everyone? Yeah, let's do that. You know what we should do? We should mix up our flex supports as well. Yeah, let's do that.
Now London's going to have to change.
It was a really weird decision.
Over to the Winston for the moment. Prophet going to throw out that Riptire. He's looking for a long flank. He wants to find a support hero. He's coming down.
A suddenly patched Rush Metal would have beaten Dragons? Yeah. I think the only way the Dragons would not have won the playoffs in Season 4 is if, like, they nerfed Wrecking Ball into the ground and they couldn't play that style. And, like, you have to play Brawl.
Oh, he's going to find an opening. Goes back onto the Mercy. Pays for it with his life. But it will be pretty tough for Philly to push. Batoshin with a kill onto Poco as well.
Bedosian is just hiding up here in the upper hallways. He long flanked around to try and
Dude, EQO.
the card.
I love it, man. That's a bloodthirsty support. I like that.
The Doa bloodthirsty support.
EQO now with the Dragon Strike. Lots of ults up for the Philadelphia Fusion. Carpe will be the first.
Did they not beat Reign of Brawl? I think they might have played a little bit of Brawl, but yeah, at that point it was like...
Badosian is actually sitting on top of him right now.
Yep, that's right. Trying to make things even more irritating.
Could a perfect Brawl beaten Shanghai? Well, the thing is, like, Shanghai potentially could have been really good at Brawl as well. We don't know. Like, if they played it, like, a little bit, but, like, that was the only way anyone else would have beaten them in any other meta, because I'm pretty sure if it was a Winston meta, the only team that could beat them would be Dallas, and stuff like that. Like, there's a million hypotheticals of who could beat who, but... And look at how confident Badosian is, right, at this point.
Pulling up that whole hog, not going to live long enough to get a lot done with it. Badosian still flanking and another time.
Like, this is just London playing with pure confidence, right? They don't fear anything anymore.
And oh no, losing EQO now would be...
Why is Gesture playing Winston? What happened here?
That would be quite the split, but London gonna have to let him go.
Philly, go.
Playing overly aggressive.
They don't want to play Brig themselves?
Again, trying to save his team's chances by using that.
They're playing... Now they're playing...
Around, but he doesn't pick up the eliminations.
Right.
Philadelphia coming back in, but they're going to have to force some ults out of the London Spitfire before they can win this fight.
Gesture with that primal rage, had to use it. He was going to die, but he puts it to good use as he takes out Zato. Gets pushed back a bit. Meanwhile, the rest of Philly regrouping without Winston, without that main tank. There's not much they can do on the cart. London sitting pretty with 2 minutes left to defend.
Neptuno coming up on another Valkyrie, though. EQO will have his Dragon Strike soon. They can push forward through this choke point with the use of those two ultimates.
All right, diving in. Time to get aggressive.
Dude, Neptuno just... Dude, Badosian is just not respecting anything.
Support versus DPS. He's like,
What is happening here?
Sato a little bit low. Poco as well. Here we go. Transcendence comes in. Badosian getting back to his tanks just in time.
Was Zen so good that I think Zen's Discord at this point was like still pretty high. I'm pretty sure it was still 30%. So like Zen was just better than Ana.
Meanwhile, Boombox takes down Gesture. So Philadelphia Fusion again, I think taking advantage of that over-aggression from London.
I mean, they cut off the sight line.
So OP now, and this is before Nano gave 300 health. And that was a really important change. Like, one of the worst things about Nano was that, like, you would put it on your tanks, but they would be low by the time you put it on them. The health change was a really good change to Nano, to, like, make sure they got value. Used to be 50? Oh, yeah, but they reduced it to 30 when they also increased Zen's health. Like, we're talking, like, very early Overwatch at this point. No way. Just, oh my god, I thought Badosian was going to live. Oh, and they just res it. Dude, they just can't.
Again, Gesture with a primal rage at the end to finish EQO and finish the fight. The payload starting to slowly roll backwards again.
London had to dump 3 ultimates.
And like, this is sort of what I was saying. Like, London just has a crazy amount of confidence, and Philly just don't have it. Sato's trying to be aggressive, and he's just turbo feeding. Carpe's not hitting the shots he needs to hit. Like,
Dicey for sure.
and Badosian's just being in a thorn. Like, they're literally, like, look at them. They're flanking through through the hotel, and they're winning fights doing it. What's Discord now? I think Discord's 20%? 25%? Can't remember where it is at this point. I'm pretty sure it's 25. Oh, here we go. That cost them a lot of ults, though. What's that, Valk Primal? Dragon.
Forced both the Valkyrie and the Transcendence early out of the London Spitfire. They didn't panic. They knew they had enough time to get back to the payload, and that pays off massively. Neptuno has his Valkyrie, and now Philadelphia Fusion will take point B.
Yeah, that was really smooth for Philly, actually. Very measured response. They're going to get point B.
Has Philly ever won a tournament?
On the clock, but that's not a lot to push through C.
Does getting close count? If not, then no.
I mean, that's the thing, though. The payload's still moving throughout all of this. The pressure is so...
They've came second place a lot.
London hasn't been able to contest it.
So exciting for you. You guys remember Summer Showdown? That was pretty good.
Kept them reeling for the last
Right?
minute or so, but they only have 50 seconds remaining. Great start, though.
Oh, EQO gets nuts. That's a crazy shot. Oh, bomb. Oh my. Was that a body block? I think Gesture just body blocked him. That's why people say Badosian was the only one close to, yeah.
That's what the Philadelphia Fusion needed. A good opportunity.
That was such an important diva bomb.
To commit any more ultimates. They saw the self-destruct come in and they knew
They were at the top of the NA regular season standings in season 3. That's awesome for them. You know who else you know who else does like really well? Not people who have regular seasons. I don't think that counts for anything. I don't think you get a medal for that.
Desperate to keep their Overwatch finals hopes alive. They gotta win a big fight. They gotta win it now.
Didn't Valiant...
Coming through.
Did Valiant finish first in season 1? No, I don't think it was in regular season. I think we came second.
Have to use that transcendence and ultimate burning. Now Opoko on the payload. They gotta get some.
Philly fans gonna be real angry in your comments. Hey, bro, tell me something that I haven't said is true. It's all true. It's just the sad reality. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, Philly, but you kind of haven't won anything. Okay, they're gonna cap. First year conference, right? Let's go, Philly.
With the Sombra trying to stay elusive, but it's not enough. Philadelphia Fusion, 3 points for them.
And that looked an awful lot like Dorado in our series yesterday. An overtime push for the grand final.
It's actually kind of crazy Philly hasn't won anything, you know? It's kind of crazy. Like, Philly has been so good for so long, and they just... It's kind of crazy they haven't won anything.
Let's see if they can defend this one.
Around the corner right now, the Philadelphia
Like, they've been so close so many times, and they've consistently had a very good roster.
All about destroying these barriers and getting through this choke point if you're the attack.
Oh.
Great hook stays alive. Takes a breather, gets that damage reduction, manages to weather the storm. Meanwhile, Sato gets a healing he needs.
Why do you think they haven't won anything? No, I just think they're like... They haven't been able to clutch it out when they needed to, right? Like, they're like, it's not like they've ever been bad. I don't think it's like, oh, you know, Carpe drops the spaghetti every time he gets to the finals. Like, Carpe's probably been the best Philly Fusion player. It's just, sometimes you just never get through.
Boombox down. Can they get the res? I don't know, but Carpe finds Birdring. That's a big headshot there. EQO pulled in. Another one for London. Nuss. Res is Birdring again. They're not done with this push just yet. Neptuno manages to get EQO back again, actually. Carpe, though, does find Gesturing. Without that main tank, London not going to be able to keep this push moving.
Yeah, Carpe's
Okay, Philly, here we go.
Eliminations they needed to. It's a 5 versus 6. London down a player on the point. They have to wait for Gesture to respawn.
Winning is hard. Yo, what's up, Gravy? Like it's easy to be good, right? Like, it's easy to not be in the bottom half. Like, well, it's not easy, but like, it's, you know, a lot of teams are in the top half, but being the best is like fucking hard to do. Oh, hoo-hoo.
Absolutely, he was. The Infrasight helps him find Bedosian, and that wastes a lot of time on the attack for the London Spitfire. Bedosian,
Wonder what happens to Philly. Not good things.
Inside the buildings on Kings Row, and then Carpe with the...
About half the teams are in the top half, exactly, right?
Coming through, they send the Dragon Strike at an awkward angle. EQO responds. Gesture taking a lot of damage, but he stays alive.
It'll be interesting to see how good Philly is this year. I'm curious to see how good Philly's gonna be. Dude, EQO is kind of fucking now. Love you, son. He needs you. Not right now, son. That's at work.
Dragon Strike cut off the members, the tank line there of the London Spitfire. Not really a lot of healing possible, and then he's going to pop through the hotel and use those storm arrows to finish off the front line.
Yeah, actually, how do Philly drop the spaghetti on this one?
On the clock, they really need to get point A taken. They got to get the payload moving. Everybody pulled up. No hooks out of that one, though. Poco just delaying a little bit as London tries to build the control.
Goats? Goats? How did London defeat Philadelphia Fusion? The question was being posed. They went goats. Philly fans in shambles. Yeah, here you go. The hit. Yeah, people playing Moira instead of Zen. I think this is before people realized how much healing Brig did. And people were like, "Oh, we need more healing." It's like, you don't need shit. Oh, you don't remember when I was listing all the things that Brig had before she'd got nerfed? She also has 250 health. I forgot about that. Not just the 600 shield, not just the insta-pack that gives like extra armor, not just the permanent rally armor, not the extra 50 damage bash. She also has 250 health.
That's going to get the point A.
They didn't want to play the Reinhardt yesterday because it's definitely not just your strongest hero.
Do you miss goats? No.
We'll get
I will stand by this. The only people that miss goats are the people that didn't have to play it.
definitely did. Now they're going to push forward again. Do they swap here? Because the issue with this composition is you don't have a lot of mobility, which is very useful on point B.
And tank players. And tank players, yeah.
And if you stay with the Reinhardt, if you stay with this Zarya, you're committing to fighting a ground war.
Didn't realize Ghost in Season 1. It wasn't really. Like, this was very rarely played.
Down and dirty.
Punches coming in, self-destruct coming in faster. Shields up just in time.
Like, Carpe went Doom to counter it. Like, we all know that ain't gonna work.
Take advantage of London out of position.
Like, Prophet's gonna get rally and they just win the fight. Oh, never mind. Well, there goes everything that I just said in the span of like 1 second. Doomfist isn't gonna work. The rally's gonna win everything as Prophet gets punched. Cool. Oh my god, Carpe actually just murdered everyone.
Some gesture, Carpe says, you know what? Bet you weren't expecting that.
And we worked, Doa, and we talked to this match started. They have to have an alternative
You had an unfortunate setting. You don't speak for all of us. Well, you're also a tank player, Gravy.
on the payload like that. However, this is
I think DPS and support players didn't enjoy goats. Because, yeah.
we will play the Doomfist. We will get these rocket punches that
It's the same reason I don't like Brawl. I just don't think it's very interesting.
Carpe with the massive Doomfist plays, and here's another fight.
That's right, London.
What was Goats' weakness? Goats.
Ultimate doing damage. They're gonna
Sombra goats.
and just roll right over Fusion. No chance there to defend that one, Neptuno.
The people who got stuck on Brig didn't like goats. Even a lot of the people didn't want to play Zarya as well, though.
From London.
Yeah, but they had to use so much, Doa. I mean, you have to drop the Graviton Surge, you have to drop the Coalescence, and Philly's gonna have another chance to defend right here.
Yep, at the end of point B, they're gonna have one more shot.
So Bird Ring will be switching to far.
Yeah, it goes. Okay, like
Philadelphia Fusion
goats.
trying to match
The reality is, goats wasn't bad, right? Like I wouldn't have mind playing goats, even though, like as I said, like Valiant sucked at goats. We weren't very good at goats. Even then, like we were fine towards the back half of season 2. Like when we sort of got situated, we were fine at goats. Like the problem wasn't goats. The problem was how long we played it for. Like, what did we play it for? Like 18 months? 14 months? Like, it was just too long of playing the exact same thing with no variation. It's not like there were that many good variations of goats.
Just gonna go ahead and try to use it here. Ooh,
The shatter!
got eaten, and meanwhile the shatter comes in from Gesture. They're gonna run right over Philly again. Carpe drops to the self-destruct. Man, they were
Lucio was fun in goats. Yeah, Lucio had its good moments in goats. It was fun being able to just like roll around and push people around.
because they were going to engage behind the Graviton. Not only does the Graviton do nothing,
Barra goats now, yeah. And this is why like people like goats wasn't like super meta because people didn't play it perfectly, right? Like Bird Ring, go Zarya. Bird Ring, pff, fuck you, I'm going Widow.
moving up. Now, she's been sitting on this sound barrier for quite some time now. Philadelphia Fusion dumped a lot into that engagement. Bird Ring moves back to the Widowmaker.
Do you like any Ryan Zarya? No, I don't think. I that's what I was saying. Is I think Ryan Zarya comps are incredibly. I don't like Ryan Zarya comps. I don't think Brawl comps are interesting. Any comp in which your strategy is to just stick together as 6 people, I don't think is fun, and I don't think is anything. I think it's not good Overwatch because it just feels like you're playing a strategy game, and there's no like FPS or fun to it. It's just 6 people running to get their heads into each other and see who has the most healing or who hits a shatter. Overwatch, yeah. Your favorite meta? Dive. Probably like Ana Genji dive back in the time. Even like the Zen Brig Bull dive I think is really interesting. Oh god, it was goats. Goats was the thing that broke Philadelphia Fusion's back.
To have another opportunity here to attack. They are going to get, if they can get 1 tick on this point, then they are going to win. They can go back to that very tank and support heavy style that we saw at the
Chad, it's still drawable. Yeah, totally. It's drawable. We got lots of time left in this VOD. Yeah, they draw. They totally draw. Don't worry. It's gonna be okay, Philly fans. It's gonna be okay.
The camping spawn after it makes it so difficult for members of the Philadelphia Fusion to reinforce the card. So Philadelphia
London sold their souls to win this game. They're like, let us be good at GOATs now and we'll suck at it later. Overwatch gods, please just let us win this match. They're like, okay. Little did they know, this would be the beginning of the end.
It has so much HP and healing, it is difficult to remove, and they only need that one.
I remember seeing Ghost take so skill. Ghost didn't... The thing is, Ghost did not take skill. It's just at the highest level, it was a lot of the little things being done right that really determined the best teams and the best players. I think it was very easy to be a very... The problem with GOATs... Okay, so I'm going to go on and think. The problem with GOATs is if you just played those 6 heroes, you would... Even if the other team was way better than you, if you just played those 6 heroes, you'd be better than the other team. And that was fundamentally... In a game which has, whatever, how many heroes we had, 28, that's a really bad thing for the game. And that was my biggest problem with GOATs. And no more talk about GOATs. Wait, what? I say that. Oh, wait, one sec. There you go, London Spitfire, baby. They didn't even look that excited because it was such an easy win, you know? Like, obviously they're excited, but... Let's go, London! Yeah, the reason we're not going to talk about GOATs is because we got a lot of history of Overwatch coming up talking about GOATs. We'll have a long discussion about GOATs in the future games. It felt so underwhelming. Well, the reason this format was so bad is after... So we, as you said, we played the game on Saturday. People were like 90% sure London was going to beat Philly. Like Philly, like it was a one-day turnaround. How was Philly just going to be better? Drastically better going into the next day. Like they can't, right? So it was just like London were probably just going to win. And that's why the format was so bad. Nothing to review besides Philly getting rolled. Well, like the whole point of this was to talk about the playoffs, right? And talk about all the other teams. And that's why I did such a long segment. This game wasn't that interesting. Like the playoffs overall, I don't think there were that many crazy interesting games. Because like NYXL got rolled, we got rolled, Philly got rolled. I guess the only one, like the Gladiators London one was like Gladiators rolled London until London decided they were going to be the best team in the league, and then London won. Damn, just look at it. These are the events that we want. Yeah, you see Jester just appreciating what's happening right now. Man's vibing, just appreciating. Justice playoff one with Kansai was probably my favorite playoff moment. Yeah. But that was a really controversial one. And we'll get there, right? I'm going to start ramping up these history of Overwatches. I'm going to start ramping them up. Like, I think I'm probably going to start going to 2 a week because I'm starting to realize I'm not going to get through it all if I don't start ramping it up. So there'll be more YouTube videos coming up for History of Overwatch. We're probably going to run through Season 2. There's obviously a couple of breakpoints we need to hit. We need to hit the Stage 1 finals. We need to hit the Stage 2 finals. We'll probably watch our game versus the Vancouver Titans just to talk about Sombra Goats. And then we'll probably watch Stage 3 finals of Shanghai beating Goats playing Farah. And then we got 2-2-2. I'm begging you. Houston beating Shock. Yeah, we can potentially do that. So, we can go through that. I don't really want to watch... I guess we can... Let's go to the ceremony. Sort of watch it all. Hey, it's Danny!
Trophy, and for that, there's no one better in the business than Golden Boy.
Thank you so much, Puckett. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm congratulations to your inaugural...
No, I wanted one of these jackets. These jackets were sick.
League champions, the London Spitfire!
Aww, buttering on the shoulders.
To give away the finals trophy, we have none other than Nate Nanzer here. Nate, a couple words you want to say for the
Season 1 merch was top tier, yeah.
Spitfire.
Thank you, New York.
Yeah!
Awesome job this weekend.
I got the Shock Champion jacket. It's so comfy. Hell yeah, that'd be cool.
Season. It's been incredible to see London won stage 1, went through some tough times in stage 2 and 3, but to battle back an incredible champion, and it's an honor to present to you, Jack, our first Grand Finals champion. It's a little heavy.
Dude, these trophies, so I've had these trophies in my house for whatever reason, last year, no, 2 years ago, for season 3, at some point they sent me every single trophy we have in the league. I had Rookie of the Year, I had MVP, I had Finals MVP, I had the thing. For whatever reason, at some point, they were all in my room. Don't tell me why. I'm not the logistics person, but I had them. It was because I presented the MVP to Fleta, for whatever reason. But yeah, I remember these trophies, I pulled that. I got the trophy. Of course I'm going to pull it out. I pulled it. That thing is dumb heavy. Too goddamn heavy. They should get a new trophy. Cause you deserve them, yeah. It was funny. It was funny, but yeah, that trophy, you can't underestimate how heavy this fucking trophy is. Didn't they say it's 50 pounds? Yeah, you can't hold it for a long period of time. You can lift it once. That's a fucking rep. That's a 1 rep, and you're like, whew, yeah, good day at the gym. It's playing a win.
It's been a long road, but today belongs to my players. You guys have been amazing.
All right, I don't want to watch this. That's it for History of Overwatch for the inaugural season. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously it was an up and down season. It was interesting for me as a player, going from Dallas to the Valiant, and then having the success and then dying to Profit. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. As I said, I'm on that hopium. I'm dreaming that one day we can get Overwatch 2 and we can get back to this place where we can fill a stadium. And that is the best way to enjoy esports. If you have gotten into esports in the last 2 years, 3 years, where you don't have live events, especially if you're only in Overwatch, stick around or go to another game or stuff like that. It is the best way, and it gives you a whole new appreciation for esports, live events, and that kind of stuff. And it's just a completely different feeling. And I hope you guys can get that just a little bit, seeing what happened in the inaugural season. Obviously, it's been a hard few years with COVID, with the league, pulling back a lot. Overwatch 1 struggling, obviously. So fingers crossed, we're going to have some good stuff. As I said, Season 2 is up next. We're going to be doing History of Overwatch. We're going to be going a lot harder, a lot faster on these games. We're going to talk about GOATs. We're going to have a long conversation about GOATs because GOATs is a very controversial thing for a lot of people. As I said, I'm not a big fan of GOATs. Some people really love it. Some people really hate it. It's a big divide of Overwatch, and we'll talk about it, and we'll watch the games and go down memory lane about what really happened. So yeah. GOATs ruin Overwatch, exactly, right? There's people who say it was the best meta. Some people said it's literally the reason they stopped watching Overwatch. So we'll get there. We'll talk about that. Make sure to like, subscribe on the YouTube channel if you guys want to get updates. Let me know if there's any games in Season 2 that you want me to watch as well that I didn't bring up earlier. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.